Hello, musicians. I want to talk all things social media. I want to talk about social media don'ts, social media do's, and how to shortcut and streamline your fan engagement and fan growth process using social media effectively. So as an artist, I've always struggled with the being consistent thing that I think all the marketing gurus are always telling me, and I just never can do it. I also get frustrated with trying to figure out what the algorithms are favoring and if I'm posting the right thing and why am I not seeing the results I want and how come my music isn't getting spread more widely. And I know this is a common thought amongst musicians. So let's dive in. My team and I have done a lot of research over the past few years looking at what the real thing about social media is and how we can use it to grow our fan base and grow our engagement so that we're seeing the results that we want without spending all the time and brain power on posting for social media. So let's start with the social media don'ts. 1, you don't need to be a graphic designer. I see people going to all these other apps and trying to pull in fonts and make, titles and things, and they're using outdated fonts, and it's not what your strength is, and that's totally fine. The key is to use the in-app captions and text options because A, that's what people are expecting, and B, it's just so much easier to stay native inside of these apps. 2, another don't is don't get obsessed with calendaring your social media. So all those content calendars of post 3 times a day and schedule it out, blah, 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 like that can be overwhelming and borderline obsessive. It's okay to do the bare minimum in social media, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in a second. The third mistake that I see is trying to be perfect. You don't need to have MTV quality videos to post on social media. In fact, the more raw and real and vulnerable you are, the more likely that's going to go viral. The last big mistake that I see musicians do is the fear of falling short, letting that take over. Meaning they think, oh, I'm not doing social media consistently or well, or I'm not seeing results, so I'm just not going to do it at all. And so they ghost all of their followers because they just don't know where to start. I've got a solution for that too, don't worry. Stick with me. Now let's talk about some social media do's. I'm gonna give you 10 really quick tips on what to do to streamline your social media practice. 1, like I said before, stay native, stay in the app, do all of your creations inside of the app. 2, utilize your stories. As soon as you do a post or a reel, share it to your stories, both in Instagram and in TikTok. You can also do this in Facebook. 3, keep it concise. Your descriptions do not need to be long essays anymore. A couple sentences and you are golden. That leads me to 4, we don't need tons and tons and tons of hashtags. Hashtags are not being used anymore for finding you, but really to help the algorithms describe your video so they can send it to the right people. So you want to be more descriptive, so more specific, not just hashtag music, maybe hashtag Celtic folk fiddle, right? So get specific with your hashtags. 5, content diversity. Make sure you're mixing up the different kinds of content you're making, from carousels to reels to posts. We'll talk about more of what that means in a second. 6, like I said before, don't get locked into a content calendar. This can become very stressful and have you start resenting the entire process. 7, be consistent with your aesthetics. If you choose a font and a style that you use for your captions, stick with that for a while. Let your brand start to shine through and let people become familiar with you and sort of know what they're going to get when they come to your feed. 8, embrace the mundane. It's okay to have a boring video. Sometimes just a bird flying by with a nice quote or something that you're thinking about can be really, really powerful and really engaging. 9, authenticity over perfection. Be real, be vulnerable. If you skip over a word or something, but that's really the feeling you were going for, go ahead and post that imperfect but vulnerable post. Number 10, add a furry friend. There are studies done that show that if you have a dog in your video or your post, you're 40% more likely to go viral, so why not? Okay, so now that we've talked about some don'ts and some do's for social media, I want to help you absolutely streamline this process. So my team and I have created something called the Content Drop. It is a monthly subscription where every month you're going to get fresh new links to trending audios, lip sync ideas, prompts on how to promote your music, plus an email template ready to send to your email list. So you can do the absolute bare minimum, which is a good thing, on social media so you can focus on creating music and promoting your music and doing all the things that you're doing inside of your music career. When you sign up for the Content Drop, you will get access to this portal where you'll get this curated content that also isn't overwhelming, by the way. It's not hundreds of ideas. It's like, here's the 4 things you need to know right now. Here's what the algorithms are favoring and what the patterns are. are, and here's everything you need to know in bite-sized, easily consumable stuff. You take what works for you, you go post it, and you've got total support throughout the month so that you're doing quality work on social media and you're not worrying about the quantity. In this day and age, quality is the key to social media versus quantity. And I think we've been trained to think that it's a quantity game when it's really not. The content drop is designed to remove all of the overwhelm and stress and the need to be consistent and perfect and all of that junk that's getting in the way of you actually growing your fan base and finding new people and engaging with your current followers in a really authentic and moving way so that you start to see the results you want with way less work and way less time. Go to www.inthekey.co/drop and go subscribe today. Give it a whirl. I can't wait to see what you create on your social feeds. Make sure to share in the comments below what you do. I'd love to see.